With respects to, I guess, success, what, Larry, in your opinion, is maybe one skill that we developed and did pretty well would have a great positive impact in our careers here?
Well, you're right off at a pretty good one right there. One skill is focus on success. Do you know the thing about success stories? If you want to make people laugh, you tell jokes. If you want to make people successful, you talk about success. See, it's what you first you got to talk things into reality. So what you talk about is what you're thinking about, but you as the leader can control to a large extent what people think about and what's on their mind. People want to please the leader. So if they see the leader talking about success, talking about great things happening, they want to do the things they hear about so they can get talked about. Even in your own mind, when you're by yourself, you're driving around, you wake up in the morning, you go to bed at night. Focus on success. Focus on moving forward. Focus on the people who are getting the thing done. See, if you do this, it makes an effort. The reason it's a skill is it takes effort. Things that are not skills are things that just come naturally. And it comes naturally just to gripe and groan. But I would focus on success in any area of your life. You want to focus on how do people take that part of their life and turn it into a plus. How do they get it done, have the most success in the shortest period of time? Everything takes time, takes repetitions, but they don't have to take it unlimited. Like they say, it takes, this whole thing, it takes 10,000, mastery to master a subject or a skill. They say 10,000 times. Where that came from was they took a music school over in Europe and they studied the students and how much time they put in, how much energy they put in. They found out the ones who went out and became, let's say, concert level performers, they had put in the 10,000. The people who went on to become the teachers and people who played in amateur bands and this, that, and the other never did anything big with it. Maybe locally they played at a club or something every now and then. They're the ones who put in 5,000 hours during their college years while they were at the conservatory. So there you go. So what happens? So that's just a rough thing. It comes out there. But the thing is, if it takes 10,000, you don't want to spend 100,000 and you're still no better than the guy who's done here, put 5,000. You don't want to be like how I did my flying. I hear like to get your pilot's license. To get a pilot's license anymore, I don't think it takes, you hear about people like 9 hours and they soloed, I think now you have to have a minimum of 40 hours. Well, when I did mine, I was up to 140 hours before I even soloed because it was stopping and starting and I was traveling and I was up in North Carolina and the weather would be bad when I was in town for a week and I'd be gone for 2 weeks and I'd come back and then I'd get a couple hours in and then the plane would be down and the instructor would be gone. 140 hours. Finally, I just said, forget it. This is just not happening for me. And so you want to spend your time, but then you want to get it over with. And so if you're focusing on success, you're focusing on the best and brightest. See, the people who fail are full of ways to fail. Never get caught up. Don't even read them. Never read these lists of the top 40 ways people screw up their finances. How they fail with their finances. You don't want that. No, because the truth of it is there's 400,000 ways there's too many ways in all faces of life. There's too many ways people do it wrong. And there's very few ways to do it right. It's like the Bible says, broad is the path that leads to destruction. Narrow is the way that leads to God, So let's just focus on the best way, how the top people do it. It's not shortcut. It's just staying on the main road. So does that help?
Yes, Larry. Definitely. You know what? Actually, I didn't really view success in that nature. I mean, what you just said. The reason it is a skill. The reason that it is a skill that it takes effort, and that things that are not skills are things that come naturally. And I think it's very, very easy to complain and moan and things of that nature. And it does take a lot of effort to stay positive, to focus on success. So I definitely think that did help a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, and as you're listening to television, as you're listening to people talk, you can do like role playing in your mind of how they should look at it. because everybody looks at things that happen to them wrong. They always see the bad side. They get beat, but they react in ways that are going to cause them to get beat again. But work it out in your mind. Say, if that happened to me, how would I look at it? That way you learn from other people's failure. But you program yourself for success just by saying, no, that ain't the way to look at it. Look at it this way. But that's how you're elevating yourself. You elevate yourself first by elevating your thinking and your outlook and your approach. But then when you have that, you can pass it on to people, because dwelling on negatives and failures does not get you where you want to go. So you want to keep your eye on the prize. That's the cliche. There's a reason we have cliches, because they work. Eye on the prize. Thanks, everybody.